Hi there, my name is Kristen O'Hara and I'm the Director of Interpretation at Pajarito Environmental Education Center. We are the nonprofit that runs the Los Alamos Nature Center. Bears are active in Los Alamos during spring, summer, and fall. New Mexico Game and Fish recommend the following 6 bear-wise basics to keep you and our bears safe. Do not feed or approach bears. Whether it's unintentional or intentional, feeding black bear in our community is incentivizing them to come into our residential neighborhoods for food. And we do not want to do that. They are wild animals. They're equipped for finding food themselves. Our people food is not the best thing for them. As far as approaching bears in the wild, it is best to stay away from black bear. If a black bear hasn't seen you and you happen to see one across the street from you, take a moment to have that beautiful experience, but do not approach a black bear. Make sure to secure your garbage cans and recycling. Bears have a very keen sense of smell and can rip open garbage cans very easily, so having them secured with some sort of bungee cord or something to keep the lids down is the best way to keep our bears in our community safe. Remove bird feeders during prime active bear times. Black bears in Los Alamos are active anywhere between the very end of April, May to the middle of November. So during those times, anything we can do to keep our bears safe by not giving them food is better for bears and better for us. So at night, for instance, at the Nature Center, we take down the bird feeders that we have outside and put them back up in the morning. So that is something you can do. But if you do have a bear at your house that has eaten from your feeders, make sure to take your feeders down for a length of time around 2 weeks, so the bear does not acclimatize to coming to your house for food. Do not leave your pet food outside. If you happen to feed your animals outdoors, put your food bowls out there, make sure your animals have your fill, but make sure you bring them in after your animal is done eating. That'll, again, keep the bears safe. Clean and store your grills. That means cleaning your grills thoroughly, removing all fat and food that could have dropped in the base of the grill, and then storing it in an inaccessible place, so a place the bears cannot get to, like a garage or even inside your house, if that's a possibility. I know not everybody has a garage, but just keeping in mind a good place to store a grill that is away from that can be away from bears accessing it. And I guess our last bear safety tip is to tell your neighbors, communicate with your neighbors and your friends about bears that have been spotted in the area, or these safety tips that you've learned here today. The more knowledge we can give to our neighbors and our friends, the better, and it will keep our bear neighbors and our human neighbors as safe as possible. Good luck, toppers, on your season.
Well, it's great to see Topper sports season kicking off again. I'm Troy Hughes. I'm the fire chief here in Los Alamos, and we're glad to see COVID kind of waning and people getting back to their normal activities. One of the things that hurt us during this time period was our lack of people. So we need recruits. We need cadets to come to work for Los Alamos Fire Department. It's a great career, very rewarding, good pay, good benefits, great retirement. You get to work out and maintain your topper strength. So we're hoping that a few good people will come to work for us in the next year, and we hope that the toppers win. So go toppers.
Hello, I'm Deputy Chief Oliver Morris of the Los Alamos Police Department, and I just want to take a few moments of your time to talk about some safety initiatives that we want to bring forth to the community as the 2022-2023 school year starts in Los Alamos. School is right around the corner, and we want to remind parents and students to make sure that you leave enough time to get to school on time so we're not rushing. As you can see behind me, all school zones are 15 miles an hour when students are going to school, even if they're not present. So let's slow down and just make sure our students are safe. Secondly, I want to remind us that when the buses are stopped and their stop signs and lights are activated, we want traffic to stop in both directions to allow time for students to cross the street to keep them safe. The other thing I want to talk about is our school campuses. It's important to remember that during school, campuses are closed to the general public as well as the playgrounds and facilities while school is in session. This also includes Sullivan Field and the Sullivan Field parking lot. We want to make sure that school is meant for just school hours and school staff. Please check in with the staff regularly if you're going to be planning on visiting our campuses. We have a long history at Los Alamos to have amazing school resource officers. These officers are there to provide an atmosphere of safety and security for our students and faculty, but they're also there to foster positive relationships with students. So we use our school resource officers just to ensure that everything is safe in our schools. The other thing I'd like to direct our community to is on the losalamosschools.net website. If you click on the Safety and Wellness section, you will see that there's the See Something, Say Something app. This app is a great tool to report anything that has to do with safety, whether it's bullying or whether it's a suspicious person on campus or anything you think is safety related for our schools. Please use this app to report any suspicious behavior so that we can work in concert with the Los Alamos Public Schools to make sure everyone is safe. And that's the final message that I have for you today. And I just want to make sure that we have a safe and fun school year, and go Toppers.
Greetings, Hilltoppers. I'm Brian DeAndrea of TechSource Incorporated. We are a science and engineering consultancy headquartered in Los Alamos, and for over 20 years have been providing the hard-won knowledge and skills from this community to organizations around the nation. It is our pleasure to support Los Alamos and Hilltopper sports. Good luck and have fun. Go Hilltoppers!
Join the University of New Mexico Los Alamos for the exceptional education. Join us for the small class sizes. Join us for the quality faculty and staff who are dedicated to your success. Whatever your reason for joining us, start here, go anywhere. Go Hilltoppers!
We understand the challenge of explaining to kids that money doesn't grow on trees. At Los Alamos Schools Credit Union, we have all of the tools you need for your kids to learn good financial habits. We offer a free student checking account with debit card, 24/7 online banking, and great member service to help you and your family's finances stay on track. And right now, we're offering a back-to-school bonus deposit with every new student checking account open before October 1st. Grow with us at Los Alamos Schools Credit Union, for people, not profit.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Griffith Gymnasium, and welcome to a night of Los Alamos High School volleyball. And the girls' volleyball team right now, it's the junior varsity out on the court for this particular match right now, or this particular set. And the Hilltopper girls are leading the second set 18-8. They lost the first set 25-20, and they had led most of the set, but then they kind of fell apart toward the end of the set, and Capital was able to take advantage. This is, of course, tonight the Hilltoppers are going to be facing the Capital Lady Jaguars, and that varsity game will follow. But right now, the situation here in Griffith Gymnasium is the Hilltopper girls are down one set. They lost the first set by 5, 25-20, but they're in total control of set number 2 as they lead 19-9 in the second set. And of course, what that would mean is if it continues this way, and I'm sure it will, that Los Alamos will win the second set, which means they have to play 3 sets. But the third set will only go to 15 points. In volleyball, the way they do it is that when you reach the terminal set of how many sets that your possibility that you can play. If it's the best 2 out of 3, then it's the third set. If it's the best 3 out of 5, it's the 5th set. But that last set only goes to 15 points. So if the Hilltoppers win this ball contest, which they lead right now 19-11 with Capital serving, then they will end up going into the third set. The team tonight should be a pretty good varsity matchup tonight. Both teams coming in to the ball game tonight are 5-4, and they seem to match up pretty well. It's interesting, though, that Capital have started off their season. They won their first 4 games, and then they lost. Then they lost their next 4. So they were 4-0, then they ended up 4-4, and they won their match last week 5-4. And the Hilltopper girls have only played 1 home game. That was against St. Pius, which went to 5 sets, and the Hilltoppers lost that one to 3-2. But that's the only home game they've had. They've been on the road all month long, ever since August, ever since they started things up, and a lot of tournaments. So they've been out of town doing a lot of tournaments and battling around. So they face some pretty stiff competition. So coming into the ball game tonight 5-4, we'll see how they do, because this should be a pretty good matchup between the Capital and the Hilltoppers. So right now, let's see, it's 22-11. So we'll stick it out here and see how this set ends up as the Hilltoppers pop it long, and so that's going to make it now 12-22, and the Capital, it will be serving. They got the crowd beginning to filter in here. We got a pretty good crowd already here this evening, so if you want to see some good high school volleyball, come on over to Griffith Gymnasium, and we're going to have the varsity matchup in just a bit, but I don't know right now. It looked like Los Alamos was totally in control, but now and you have the Capital trying to mount some kind of a comeback, but they're down right now by 9, 22-13, and that's going to make it 23-13. So a 10-point lead. So two more points. I thought the Capital coach was going to call a timeout, and I was saying, please don't call a timeout. It's 23-13. You don't have that much to talk about. What you need to do is get ready for the next set. And Los Alamos will serving at 23-13 here in this junior varsity contest. And the game against St. Pius was a very good, really good matchup. And so served by Los Alamos is long. And as Maury Pongratz says, service error, sorry. So that's going to make it 14-23. So the Hilltoppers are really dragging this out at the end after just roaring to a 10, 11-point lead. The Capital can now lead by 24-14. So the Hilltoppers 10 set points right now for Los Alamos. So they will serve at set point. This is the first of 10 set points Los Alamos will face, or the Capital will face, actually. And Hilltoppers going to coming for the kill and can't do it. So Capital hanging on here, doing their best again. And the Hilltoppers, well, it's just kind of like playing Pong. Neither team is really powering anything. And there's a long shot. The Hilltoppers try to go for it. So that's going to make it 24-15. So that cuts us down to 9 set points for Los Alamos. And Capital will serve at 15-24. And then we'll see if the Hilltoppers can eventually pull this out. They had a pretty good lead in the last set, and then they let that lead slip away. Of course, right now they got 9 set points, so it's going to be pretty tough for Capital to pull it back now as the Hilltoppers pick up point number. The first set as it goes to 25-15. The Hilltoppers win it, so they lost the first one 25-20, and they come back and win this one 15-25 or 15-25. So this next set will go 15 points. So it should go a little faster. So we'll be, and then of course there's a 20-minute warm up for the varsity before the varsity game. So there we're probably looking at least probably 40 minutes before we're going to actually be back on the air. So I'm going to send it back to Charlene. And we have some great sponsors. Charlene is going to run some nice commercials. We have some nice video commercials. That's the nice thing about the YouTube is that we're the audio part of the YouTube, and then we have the commercials from some nice video commercials from our sponsors. And we really do appreciate the help and the support of the sponsors and for their support of Los Alamos High School athletics. So back to Charlene, and then we'll be back in a little while.
Greetings, Hilltoppers. I'm Brian Deandria of TechSource Incorporated. We are a science and engineering consultancy headquartered in Los Alamos, and for over 20 years have been providing the hard-won knowledge and skills from this community to organizations around the nation. It is our pleasure to support Los Alamos and Hilltopper sports. Good luck and have fun. Go Hilltoppers!
Join the University of New Mexico Los Alamos for the exceptional education. Join us for the small class sizes. Join us for the quality faculty and staff who are dedicated to your success. Whatever your reason for joining us, start here, go anywhere. Go Hilltoppers!
We understand the challenge of explaining to kids that money doesn't grow on trees. At Los Alamos Schools Credit Union, we have all of the tools you need for your kids to learn good financial habits. We offer a free student checking account with debit card, 24/7 online banking, and great member service to help you and your family's finances stay on track. And right now, we're offering a back-to-school bonus deposit with every new student checking account open before October 1st. Grow with us at Los Alamos Schools Credit Union for people, not profit.
Well, it's great to see Topper sports season kicking off again. I'm Troy Hughes. I'm the fire chief here in Los Alamos. And we're glad to see COVID kind of waning and people getting back to their normal activities. One of the things that hurt us during this time period was our lack of people. So we need recruits. We need cadets to come to work for Los Alamos Fire Department. It's a great career, very rewarding, good pay, good benefits, great retirement. You get to work out and maintain your Topper strength. So we're hoping that a few good people will come to work for us in the next year, and we hope that the Toppers win. So go Toppers.
Hello, I'm Deputy Chief Oliver Morris of the Los Alamos Police Department, and I just want to take a few moments of your time to talk about some safety initiatives that we want to bring forth to the community as the 2022-2023 school year starts in Los Alamos. School is right around the corner, and we want to remind parents and students to make sure that you leave enough time to get to school on time so we're not rushing. As you can see behind me, all school zones are 15 miles an hour when students are going to school, even if they're not present. So let's slow down and just make sure our students are safe. Secondly, I want to remind us that when the buses are stopped and their stop signs and lights are activated, we want traffic to stop in both directions to allow time for students to cross the street to keep them safe. The other thing I want to talk about is our school campuses. It's important to remember that during school, campuses are closed to the general public as well as the playgrounds and facilities while school is in session. This also includes Sullivan Field and the Sullivan Field parking lot. We want to make sure that school is meant for just school hours and school staff. Please check in with the staff regularly if you're going to be planning on visiting our campuses. We have a long history at Los Alamos to have amazing school resource officers. These officers are there to provide an atmosphere of safety and security for our students and faculty, but they're also there to foster positive relationships with students. So we use our school resource officers just to ensure that everything is safe in our schools. The other thing I'd like to direct our community to is on the losalamosschools.net website. If you click on the safety and wellness section, you will see that there's the See Something, Say Something app. This app is a great tool to report anything that has to do with safety, whether it's bullying or whether it's a suspicious person on campus or anything you think is safety related for our schools. Please use this app to report any suspicious behavior so that we can work in concert with the Los Alamos Public Schools to make sure everyone is safe. And that's the final message that I have for you today. And I just want to make sure that we have a safe and fun school year, and go Toppers.
Hi there, my name is Kristen O'Hara, and I'm the Director of Interpretation at Pajarito Environmental Education Center. We are the nonprofit that runs the Los Alamos Nature Center. Bears are active in Los Alamos during spring, summer, and fall. New Mexico Game and Fish recommend the following 6 bear-wise basics to keep you and our bears safe. Do not feed or approach bears. Whether it's unintentional or intentional, feeding black bear in our community is incentivizing them to come into our residential neighborhoods for food. And we do not want to do that. They are wild animals. They're equipped for finding food themselves. Our people food is not the best thing for them. As far as approaching bears in the wild, it is best to stay away from black bear. If a black bear hasn't seen you and you happen to see one across the street from you, take a moment to have that beautiful experience, but do not approach a black bear. Make sure to secure your garbage cans and recycling. Bears have a very keen sense of smell and can rip open garbage cans very easily, so having them secured with some sort of bungee cord or something to keep the lids down is the best way to keep our bears in our community safe. Remove bird feeders during prime active bear times. Black bears in Los Alamos are active anywhere between the very end of April, May to the middle of November. So during those times, anything we can do to keep our bears safe by not giving them food is better for bears and better for us. So at night, for instance, at the Nature Center, we take down the bird feeders that we have outside and put them back up in the morning. So that is something you can do. But if you do have a bear at your house that has eaten from your feeders, make sure to take your feeders down for a length of time around 2 weeks, so the bear does not acclimatize to coming to your house for food. Do not leave your pet food outside. If you happen to feed your animals outdoors, put your food bowls out there, make sure your animals have your fill, but make sure you bring them in after your animal is done eating. That'll, again, keep the bears safe. Clean and store your grills. That means cleaning your grills thoroughly, removing all fat and food that could have dropped in the base of the grill, and then storing it in an inaccessible place, so a place the bears cannot get to, like a garage or even inside your house, if that's a possibility. I know not everybody has a garage, but just keeping in mind a good place to store a grill that is away from that can be away from bears accessing it. And I guess our last bear safety tip is to tell your neighbors, communicate with your neighbors and your friends about bears that have been spotted in the area, or these safety tips that you've learned here today. The more knowledge we can give to our neighbors and our friends, the better, and it will keep our bear neighbors and our human neighbors as safe as possible. Good luck, toppers, on your season.
Gene Mortensen back here at Griffith Gymnasium, and we are in the final stages of set 3 of the junior varsity contest, and it looked like Los Alamos was going to run away with it. They had a pretty substantial lead, but Capital has been clawing back. Hilltopper's been sitting on 13 for quite a while, and right now it's 14-13 with Capital serving, so serving at 13-14, and they played a 15, so the Hilltoppers have 2 set points right now, and I thought they were going to get it right there, but they didn't. Great play by Capital to keep this thing alive. The Capital brings it across. Hilltoppers pick it up. They're going to try another spike. This one almost fell in, hit the tape, and then kind of started to drop in. And the next shot by Capital is going to be long, and that'll do it. So the Hilltoppers win the third set 15-13. They won the second. They lost the first set 25-20. And then they won the second set 25-15. And then they won this particular set here at 15-13. So it's so that'll do it. So the Hilltoppers win the JV contest by a score of 2-1, and best out of 3. And so we'll have we're going to have a 20-minute warm-up once the teams get out on the field, onto the court. And so they put 20 on the clock, but they won't start it until both teams are ready and starting their warm-ups. But at least the situation here is that we know we're going to be starting in about 20 or 25 minutes. So if you're counting on listening to Hilltopper Volleyball, then set your clock, because it's going to be probably, I was thinking maybe about 7. It's going to be, actually, it'll be a little after 7. So it'll be after 7 o'clock here tonight. So anyway, I'm going to send it back to Charlene, and then we'll be back. Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Griffith Gymnasium, and welcome to a varsity matchup of volleyball between the Los Alamos High School Hilltoppers and the Capitol High School Lady Jaguars. And so it's going to be the Jaguars coming into the ball game tonight, and Los Alamos both with identical records of 5-4. Interestingly enough, Belen Capitol started things off against Belen, and they won their first 4 pretty handily. They swept Belen, swept Navajo Prep, swept Cottonwood Classical. That's a prep school in Albuquerque, and then they faced Piedra Vista in a tournament, won that one 3-2. But then they ran into St. Michael's, one of the better teams in the state, and lost. Then they got swept by them. Got swept by Rio Rancho. Got swept by St. Michael's again for the second time. And let's see, we got some number changes here. Driving me crazy. Okay, thank you, Nate. And so, and then finally, the Capitol went up against Espanola the other night, and on Monday, and won that ball game 3-1. So they are 5-4. So they won their first 4 pretty handily, and except for one, Piedra Vista went to 5 sets. Then they got swept in the next 4, did not win a set, and then they finally did beat Espanola 3-1. So they kind of a strange start to the season for Capitol. For the Hilltoppers, they also are 5-4, and they've been bouncing around back and forth. They've only had one home game, and that was here at Griffith Gymnasium when they took on St. Pius, and that went to 5 sets. That was a really, really good battle. Came right down to the wire in the last sets. And the Hilltoppers, in the set to 15, the Hilltoppers lost that set, so they were defeated by St. Pius 3-2, and that's the only home game they've had. Other than that, they've been on the road. They started things off against St. Michael's. St. Michael's, one of the best volleyball teams in the state, certainly one of the best in 3A, but they just got waxed by St. Michael's, and then they come back to beat Santa Fe, and then they had a couple of wins against Cobra and Magdalena, and then they lost to Carlsbad and beat Clovis. So it's like they just been up and down, but they've been traveling a lot to these different tournaments. The last game was at Volcano Vista in Albuquerque, and that was on the 15th of September, and they lost that one 3-0. They were swept by Volcano Vista, and that's not a real big surprise. Volcano Vista, a very, very good volleyball program and a 5A school. Well, the Hilltoppers have had some pretty good competition, so we'll see how they shake out tonight. This should be a pretty good match. These teams do seem to match up pretty well, and see how the Hilltoppers will do. The week for Los Alamos right now, it's going to boil down to, we're going to do this ball game tonight here at Griffith Gymnasium against the Jaguars. The Jaguars who were in our district forever, and they were a 4A school. They were the same class as us, but like everything else, the population is booming, I guess, or whatever. But anyway, Capitol now is a 5A school, so they've gone up. Santa Fe was a 4A. They went to 5A. They actually went to 6A when they had the Class 6A, and then they did away with Class 6A, Class 6 until not 6. Yeah, they did away with 6A until and so they did keep. There's still a Class 6 for football, so there's a 5A and a 6A, but right now Los Alamos is in 4A, but they have to face a lot of 5A teams, but we're just about ready to go. The teams now are going to be lining up, and Maury Pongratz will make all the introductory announcements, and then they'll have the national anthem, I do believe, or sometimes it's just the Pledge of Allegiance. Depends, I guess, on whether they either get a singer or somebody brings in a recording. But so we had some number changes for us. Anna Kirkland, who's normally number 9, She's been switched to number 1, and Cheyenne Garcia, who normally is number 1, has been switched to number 9, which I don't understand. And I'm not sure which. I'm trying to remember who was the libero for Los Alamos in that game against St. Pius. But anyway, we'll figure all that out as things go here. So we're going to have a national anthem here in a minute. So we're going to go quiet. We'll go silent for a little bit, and you can all listen to the national anthem if you can hear it. Oh, yeah. What is it? Elliot. What are you telling me, John? So we now have completed the national anthem. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but anyway, it's right now Maury Pondgraph's introducing the Capital Jaguars, and so I started to say is that this week shakes out to be Los Alamos will take on Capital tonight, of course, in this volleyball contest, and then the schedule will continue for us anyway on Friday night when the Hilltoppers, for Saturday afternoon. Let me correct that. Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, the Hilltopper football team will take on Academy at Academy. Academy doesn't have lights, which kind of a surprise. They got everything else. I don't know why they don't have lights. Anyway, they don't have lights, and so all their games at Academy have to be daytime games. So it'll be Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll be at the Academy to bring you that ball game. And Hilltoppers coming off a nice homecoming win against the Milwaukee Elks last on Friday night. They broke their losing streak, and so John has something to tell me here. John was just telling me that it's Hawaii night. I was wondering because the student section never can tell what that student section over there is going to come. The student section is, as usual, is jam-packed. It was at the last game. What they did at the last game was they all jam-packed. They all stood up for the whole match. But a little while after the match started, about the first 3 or 4 rows just all of a sudden peeled out of the gymnasium, just took off. And then the next thing we know, in a few minutes later, they all came back and they were all wearing the tank top undershirts, and so all of them. And then after the Hilltoppers won the first set against Pius, they all jumped out onto the floor and sat down one behind the other, and then pretended they were rowing a boat. So, but anyway, some of the school officials went over and had some chats with them. Next thing we knew, they all left again, came back in their normal shirts. But tonight they're all over there in the student section in Hawaiian shirts, very, very loud Hawaiian shirts, because for some reason tonight we are celebrating Hawaii night, and all of the girls and Joe Palmer all wearing leis as they came out onto the floor tonight for warm-ups and they were wearing their leis, but they, of course, have removed those. Joe Palmer still has his on. So it's Hawaii night here, and it's almost the only thing that they're missing is they should have brought us a Mai Tai, but of course, can't do that. That's against the rules. But at any rate, Joe Palmer, the head coach of the Hilltoppers, he's assisted by Natalie Pasalacqua, whose daughter Angelina Pasalacqua is one of the top players for Los Alamos, and for the Capital, Max Vargas is the head coach. Lawrence Lovato is the assistant coach. But it is Hawaii night. We'll see what that crazy student section is up to, as they've all shown up in Hawaiian shirts here tonight. And so right now they're checking the starting lineups, and of course what they do, of course we talk about this every time, is that they bring the starting lineup out, and then they bring in the libero. I don't know why they don't put it out at first, but they have a starting lineup, and the starting lineup has to be out there, and they have to be in position. And after the official determines that all that is fine, then they send out the libero. And so for Capital, I see their libero they're going to be Alyssa Sandoval tonight. She's a 5'2" senior, and she will be the libero. And for Los Alamos, our libero, I do believe, is going to be Anna Kirkland, and that's who it looks is going to be running out as a. Well, I don't know. They're having a long discussion down on the floor. The Hilltopper captain went over and talked to the Angelina Pasalacqua went over and talked to the chair umpire for a long time, and now we're having a discussion with the Sherry, the floor umpire, the floor referee, and she's happy with the way everything goes. So out will come Solène Teliez and the. And we're ready to go as Anna Kirkland comes in for Los Alamos to be the libero, and serving right away is Angelina Pasalacqua, and we are underway. The Capital with a hard spike brings it across, and now they're going to. Well, Anna Kirkland's got to play it from the back court, and so a little dink this time by Capital. That is off, and boy, a hard shot by the Hilltoppers, Callie Goda. And Goda now is going to set up Angelina Hammond, and that's right on the line. So I said Angelina, it's Ashley. It's Ashley Hammond, and it was right smack on the line, right in front of the lines girl. But well, somehow Sherry seems to be overruling her, which I don't understand. The lines girl is looking right smack at it. I mean, it was right in front of her, but they're going to say no, and they're going to give it to Capital. So Capital now will serve and serve it at 1-0. The Capital number is very, very hard to read. They're kind of a light blue on black, and the Hilltoppers cannot return the serve as it comes over to Lindsay Farrer, and she can't get it back over. And so serving right now for Capital is Chanel Jager. So Chanel, her shot is picked up. Callie Goda. Whoa, boy, fantastic block that time by Madeleine Portillo of Capital. Boy, she went high in the air. Madeleine, 5'9", boy, every inch of that 5'9" was up in the air. So right now, Chanel Jager is once again is going to come over to they were trying to get it over to Hannah Bergerman, but they said it just goes flying over her head. So the Hilltoppers really discombobulated at this point, trailing 4-0 here in the first set. As for some reason, I thought they won that first point. Hilltoppers, I mean, they are way out of sync as they try to set Ashley Hammond, and Hammond just slams it right into the net. So right away, and I don't blame him right away. Joe Palmer wants a timeout, and they need a timeout. They are completely out of sync, and completely. Their sets that they've attempted have not been good. They've slammed a couple into the net. They just have not been able to play together as a team. But that will straighten out. They will get in the groove. So we've seen this happen time before, and usually you'll see a team that just gets wiped out in the first 5 or 6 points, then all of a sudden they settle down. But there's no need to be nervous in this ball game. It's not a district ball game. This is an old district rival. So Capital will serve Callie Goda, and Goda clobbers it. It is picked up there. Nice pickup by Capital, and the Hilltoppers bring it over to Hannah Bergerman. Bergerman over on the right side of the net. Boy, she finds the open court right in front of the back line. So that'll make it 1-5. And now dropping back to serve for the Hilltoppers will be Ashley Hammond. And so Ashley will serve at 1-5 after they retrieve the ball. In the JV game, the ball went, they had the gym doors open, and it flew out the door and gone. So Ashley Hammond with the serve. They return it. Hilltoppers are going to set up Michelle Macias, and Michelle way too long. So Michelle, she's an extremely good athlete, 5'10" senior. And so right now we're going to the libero for Capital, Alyssa Sandoval, 5'2" senior, will serve. This is going to, thought it might go long, and Hilltoppers play it. And wow, Hannah Bergerman, the 5'9" junior. Boy, there was no answer to that, I guarantee you. She just pounded it into a couple of Lady Jaguars. They couldn't do anything except protect themselves. So the Hilltoppers now will send Callie Goda. And Callie, a 5'8" senior. I don't know, she's a 5'8" senior. Callie, nice serve, just barely clears the net. But they set up Madeleine Portillo, hard shot by Madeleine, and finding the open court, Hannah Bergerman. So Hannah on fire right now for Los Alamos, and she just put a half volley, a half shot down into the middle of the court where nobody was. So she picked out the middle of the court, and so still serving for Los Alamos is Callie Goda, serving at 3-6. And going to come up to the front. Across is Sophia Cintron and Michelle Macias. A hard shot by Michelle. That is picked up. Now they're going to set up Solène Teliez. And Solène, well, the lines girl calls it in, and Sherry overrules her again. That ball right on the line. I don't understand why Sherry, who is at mid-court, and she can see him any better than the lines girl. That's the second time now she has overruled the lines girl. So that makes it now 7-3. Michelle Macias, her shot partially blocked at the net. I thought that ball hit the floor, but they're saying no, it didn't. So the Hilltoppers, well, now they're stopping play again. What are they calling? I think they're calling 4 hits on Los Alamos. This is crazy. That ball, I was pretty sure, hit the floor. But anyway, now it's 8-3 and Capital serving. So it floats across. It's picked up there by Hannah Bergerman. Bergerman's going to set up Michelle Macias. And the lines girl says it's in. And for once, she's not overruled. So twice she's looking right at the pass, the shot coming down. Hits the line, she calls it right away, and then she's overturned twice. She's overruled twice. Hannah Bergerman, long, her serve is long. That makes it now 4-9 or 9-4 in favor of Capital. And checking into the ball game for the Hilltoppers now will be Deanna Foster, and also checking in for Capital will be Brooke Salazar. Brooke is a sophomore, don't have a height on her. She's a small girl, but she's going to serve right now. Going to come up now to Michelle Macias. Macias' shot is blocked at the net, and so the Hilltoppers pick it up and are able to get it back across. And there's a nice little Amare Romero, and so she did the same thing that the Hilltoppers just did. Hannah Bergerman did, that was find the open court. Makes it 10-4. Capital just dominating here as the Hilltoppers just having a lot of trouble getting things together. Michelle Macias, and her shot is Whoa. Well, I was going to say her shot was partially blocked and it was headed to the floor. One of the Capital girls dove to the floor, tried to pancake it, but stuck that hand underneath it. But the official rules that it did hit the floor. Coming in for Los Alamos now will be Gianna Benelli, and Gianna Benelli will serve at 5'9". So Gianna, nice serve, picked up in the backcourt. We're going to have to play it from the backcourt, so they just bump it across. So the Hilltoppers now are going to set up Solien Teliez, and, well, it was blocked, but it never got across. Never crossed the tape. So it's 4 hits and a point for Capital. So Capital serving comes to the back line, picked up there. They're going to set up right now Ashley Hammond. Boy, beautiful shot by Hammond. The lines girl says it's in. Sherry agrees. And so that makes it now 6-10. Anna Kirkland, the libero for Los Alamos, will now serve, serving down by 4, 6-10 here to the Lady Jaguars. So a little soft serve comes up all the way to the back. Madeleine Portillo with a hard shot across Ashley Hammond. And Ashley's shot is partially blocked at the net by Madeleine Portillo, but it falls into the open court. That should make it now 7-10. They haven't put the score up yet, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It's supposed to be 7-10. Finally, they put it up. For a minute, I thought maybe they were going to rule something against that. So the Hilltoppers across, and so this one now, beautiful shot that time by Angelina Pasalacqua. She puts it in from the right side. Actually, Angelina was the setter. Ashley Hammond was the spiker. She put it right from the right side down the left sideline. The libero for Los Alamos, Anna Kirkland, still serving. Now it's up to 8-10 as the Hilltoppers finally starting to settle down. And they get it up to Madeleine Portillo, and Madeleine, let's see. And so the Hilltoppers try to make the block, but anyway, they get up, make the block with the ball now drops right in front of the Hilltoppers. That makes it 11-8. And a serve picked up by the libero. She's going to get it up to Ashley Hammond. Hammond shot is picked up by Alyssa Sandoval for Pius. And wow, I'm telling you, Caitlin Padilla, boy, they got her a beautiful set. And boy, she powered that thing down the left sideline. All the Hilltoppers could do is just admire that one. 12-8. Now Capital up. And the serving is going to be Amaria Romero. Let's see. Not sure what we're doing here. Long delay. Well, no, Sherry now over at trying to figure out what is exactly going on here. So the server now is dropping back. It's actually going to be Caitlin Padilla. So Caitlin Padilla now serving. She brings it across. Hilltoppers now get it over to Callie Goda. Goda bringing it down the left sideline. She thought for a minute she had it in, but she clearly did not. And it makes it now 13-8. Caitlin Padilla's serve comes to Ashley Hammond. Hammond, she just put it between the libero and Angela Valencia, who was also back there. She just put it between them, and all they could do was look at it. Neither one of them actually made a move. There wasn't anything they could do. Beautiful spike all the way. It's almost to the back line. And so Angelina Pasalacqua now will serve for Los Alamos at 9-13. We're in set 1. Just starting things out as the best of 5 sets, best 3 of 5. Hilltoppers have the shot blocked by Callie Goda, and then Hilltoppers get it over to Ashley Hammond. A hard shot this time by Caitlin Padilla, and that is blocked by Callie Goda. And the Hilltoppers playing fantastic defense as they bring it across, diving to the floor to dig it out. That time was Ashley Hammond, And it came to the back line, into the back court. Gianna Bonelli made a try for it, but she couldn't get to it. So that makes it now 14-9. Capital up on Los Alamos. Comes to the back line, and they're going to bring it up. Boy, I mean, the ball comes out of Hannah Bergman. Bergman clobbered it, right into one of the Lady Jaguars who's going to try to bump it back, bumped it straight up in the air, hit the rafters, came straight back down. Of course, that's still a playable ball, but there wasn't anything anybody was going to do about that. So almost an ace serve this time by Ashley Hammond, but great defense by Capital to dig it out. And the ball, well, let's see, it's out of bounds down the right sideline, but that was touched by Madeleine Portillo, and they do call that. So that makes it 11-14. Ashley still serving. Comes to Alyssa Sandoval, and then just trying almost a perfect set up to the front, and Chanel Jager trying to do what she can to get it across, but it was blocked at the net this time by Hannah Bergman, and so the Hilltoppers close it now to 12-14, and we are still in set one, and the Capital now wants to take a timeout. So Max Vargas, whose girls were kind of in control for a while, but the Hilltoppers finally have settled down and started to play some little better in sync. They were really out of sync in the first 5 or 6 points, but they are back. And right now it's a 12-14 contest as the Hilltoppers now will serve. And so Ashley Hammond still serving for Los Alamos, and she's picked up 2 or 3 quick points here for Los Alamos. 12-14 set one. And of course, they go to 25, so we're only about halfway through. Ashley's serve is almost picked up by this time by Liana Hopkins, and she was able to get it up and across. Michelle Macias, hard shot. That's partially blocked, and it comes right over now to Hannah Bergman. Hannah having a heck of a game, jumping up and down. I mean, she's really celebrating as the Hilltoppers close it to 13-14. Hammond serving still, and that's going to be long. So Alyssa Sandoval, the libero, started to go for it and very wisely pulled away. And so now Alyssa will go over and pick up the ball, and she'll serve up by 2, 15-13 here over the Hilltoppers. As they bump it up to the front, Michelle Macias can't do anything with it. All she can do is just two-handed push it across. And then they set up Caitlin Padilla. But boy, I mean, she just runs right into Callie Goda and Hannah Bergman. So the Hilltoppers pick up the point as the block kill by those 2 young ladies. And now Callie Goda will drop back to serve, serving at 14-15. Alyssa Sandoval picks it up for Capital, and Caitlin Padilla trying to bring it across, and Hilltoppers block it. Sophia Centron tries to bring it back across, goes out of bounds. 15-15. So the Hilltoppers, who are down by about 4 or 5 points to begin with, have closed it now to 15-15. And so they serve by Callie Goda, and this time now they get it up to Madeleine Portillo. That's Caitlin Padilla. Boy, those numbers are really hard to see. Caitlin Padilla. So Caitlin, she gets the point, and now she's going to serve at 16-15. So Padilla, 5'6" senior, serving for the Lady Jaguars. Finally, comes to Anna Kirkland. Kirkland now will try to set up Michelle Macias. Macias, the ball very close to the net. All she can do is just reach a hand out and hope to get it over the net, which she did. And now Hannah Bergman. There is no answer for Hannah tonight, I guarantee you. As Hannah finds the open court, is a little half volley. She just took a lot off of it, and So makes it a 16-16, and now Hannah will serve. So Hannah having a whale of a ball game, and they get it to Madeleine Portillo. Portillo's shot picked up by Anna Kirkland, and they get it now to Solène. Whoa, great play by Capitol. I thought that Solène Tellez had dropped that one across, but boy, great play. And Solène all by herself at the net. One block there, another block by Solène, and finally they get it to Michelle Macias as she bounces it off of Caitlin Padillo in the backcourt. Caitlin now can do nothing but just bump it up. They're going to bring it up to Michelle Macias. Macias takes a lot off of it, picked up easily by Capitol. Double block at the net by Los Alamos. And let's see, they're going to call a double hit on Capitol. Mac Vargas not happy, and the Hilltoppers finally take the lead in this contest. Anna Bergerman serving for Los Alamos. That's going to be long. So that'll make it 17-17. We thought this would be a pretty good matchup, and so far it is. Capitol started things off strong as the Hilltoppers completely out of the groove. But as usual, after 5, 6, 7 points, the Hilltoppers finally do pull it together. We've seen this happen before, but right now it's a very hard-fought match by two teams that match up very well. Serve is long, so that's served by Chanel Yeager. So Yeager's serve is long, and it makes it 18-17. Checking in for Los Alamos to serve now will be Gianna Benelli. So Gianna Benelli up by 1 here in set 1. So Gianna in the net. Can't stand prosperity. So anyway, 18-18. And now picking the ball up is going to be, let's see. I can hardly read that number. So anyway, she serves it across, comes to Solène Tellez. Tellez down the right sideline, and that is wide. That makes it 19-18. Capitol. Serving is Sophia Cintron. So Sophia, I'm sorry. That's going to come now to Ashley Hammond. Hard shot picked up in the back by Caitlin Padilla. Madeleine Portillo brings it across. The Hilltoppers are now over to Ashley Hammond again. And Ashley brings it in and not overruled. Right in front of the line. And the Lions girl says that's good. No overrule. So it's now 19-19. Backdrop for Los Alamos now will be Anna Kirkland. Kirkland, the libero for Los Alamos. 5'6" senior. And she will serve. So they bring it back across over to Kirkland. She sets up Ashley Hammond. And Ashley with a hard shot right into the open court makes it 20-19. So the libero Anna Kirkland will serve up by 1, 20-19 here in set 1. And first team to 25 to win by 2. Takes the set. And it's the best 3 out of 5 sets. So the way things are going here, we may see 5 sets. We did see 5 against the St. Pius. Ashley Hammond has her shot blocked out of bounds by Madeleine Portillo. So that makes it 21-19. 2-point lead for Los Alamos. And still back there serving is Anna Kirkland. Up by 2 here against the Lady Jaguars. So the Hilltoppers took a while to get going, but they have almost that one is wow. Diving for it that time. It was Brooke Salazar, and she brought it up to Callie Goda, and absolutely perfect set for Callie, and she just murdered it. Makes it 22-19. Hilltoppers up by 3. Alyssa doing a good job of serving, and just as I say that, she goes long. I jinxed her, I guess. 20-22. And so should have brought Debbie to spot for me tonight. Numbers are murder. Anyway, Callie Goda. And Callie, she just bounces it off of Caitlin Padilla out of bounds. Makes it 23-20. So now a 3-point lead for Los Alamos, and the ball will now go to Angelina Pasalacqua, and Angelina will serve up by 3 here in set 1. So the Hilltoppers 2 points away from the set. Angelina serve almost long, picked up by Alyssa Sandoval, and then Caitlin Padilla tries to push it across, dug out by Ashley Hammond. They get it to Hannah Bergerman. Bergerman can't get it over the net, hits the top of the tape and bounces back. That makes it 21 to 23. And serving Brooke Salazar, serving at 21-23. To the back line to Gianna Benelli. And the Hilltoppers, all they can do is dink it across. Callie Goda. And then Caitlin Padilla says, I can do the same thing. And that's exactly what she does. And she finds the open court. And suddenly it's a 1-point ball game. And now Joe Palmer wants a timeout. So the Hilltoppers 2 points away from the set. Capital 3 points away from the set. Says Capital started off on fire. Well, actually, they started off playing well. Los Alamos started off playing terrible. And Capital went up by about 5 or 6 to 0 before the Hilltoppers. Joe Palmer finally called the timeout. I think he called the timeout at 5-0. And then, of course, after they came out of that timeout, they settled down a lot. And it's been pretty good. It's been a very good volleyball match ever since then. So right now, though, it's sitting at 23-22. And so Brooke Salazar serving is going to come over. Callie Goda. Whoa, great dig out by Alyssa Sandoval there, libero. A little soft shot across by Caitlin Padilla. And shot now blocked out of bounds as Madeleine Portillo and Caitlin Padilla and Madeleine Portillo team up for the double block, and they block it out of bounds. So the Hilltoppers up 24-22, 2 set points for Los Alamos at this point. And Ashley Hammond serving at set point. And we're going to have a timeout taken by Max Vargas. They're allowed 2 timeouts per match, and Max has taken both of his. Joe Palmer, he took one right off the bat, but he hasn't had to take a timeout since. So we best of the Hilltopper girls, junior varsity, lost the first set 25-20 as they led most of the match, but then they kind of fell apart at the end. But then they came back in the second set, won that one easily 25-15, and then won the third set easily once again, as they were the first team to 15 handily. Makes it 24-22, and Ashley Hammond is going to serve for Los Alamos, serving at set point. She has Hilltoppers with 2 set points to put this away, and Ashley Hammond comes to the back, and boy, Capital lucky to get that one across. Set's going to be right now for Hannah Bergerman, and Bergerman's shot is blocked at the net by Caitlin Padilla and Madeleine Portillo again, as they try to that double block kill, and it falls out of bounds, and the Hilltoppers win the first set 25-22. So I'm going to send it back to we have a couple of minutes here between the set, almost 3 minutes. We're going to send it back to Charlene and see if she can get in a little something from some of our sponsors. We'll be back.
Hi there, my name is Kristen O'Hara, and I'm the Director of Interpretation at Pajarito Environmental Education Center. We are the nonprofit that runs the Los Alamos Nature Center. Bears are active in Los Alamos during spring, summer, and fall. New Mexico Game and Fish recommend the following 6 bear-wise basics to keep you and our bears safe. Do not feed or approach bears. Whether it's unintentional or intentional, feeding black bear in our community is incentivizing them to come into our residential neighborhoods for food. And we do not want to do that. They are wild animals. They're equipped for finding food themselves. Our people food is not the best thing for them. As far as approaching bears in the wild, it is best to stay away from black bear. If a black bear hasn't seen you and you happen to see one across the street from you, take a moment to have that beautiful experience, but do not approach a black bear. Make sure to secure your garbage cans and recycling. Bears have a very keen sense of smell and can rip open garbage cans very easily, so having them secured with some sort of bungee cord or something to keep the lids down is the best way to keep our bears in our community safe. Remove bird feeders during prime active bear times. Black bears in Los Alamos are active anywhere between the very end of April, May to the middle of November. So during those times, anything we can do to keep our bears safe by not giving them food is better for bears and better for us. So at night, for instance, at the nature center, we take down the bird feeders that we have outside and put them back up in the morning. So that is something you can do. But if you do have a bear at your house that has eaten from your feeders, make sure to take your feeders down for a length of time around 2 weeks, so the bear does not acclimatize to coming to your house for food. Do not leave your pet food outside. If you happen to feed your animals outdoors, put your food bowls out there, make sure your animals have your fill, but make sure you bring them in after your animal is done eating. That'll, again, keep the bears safe. Clean and store your grills. That means cleaning your grills thoroughly, removing all fat and food that could have dropped in the base of the grill, and then storing it in an inaccessible place, so a place the bears cannot get to, like a garage or even inside your house, if that's a possibility. I know not everybody has a garage, but just keeping in mind a good place to store a grill that is away from that can be away from bears accessing it. And I guess our last bear safety tip is to tell your neighbors, communicate with your neighbors and your friends about bears that have been spotted in the area, or these safety tips that you've learned here today. The more knowledge we can give to our neighbors and our friends, the better, and it will keep our bear neighbors and our human neighbors as safe as possible. Good luck, toppers, on your season.
So we're just getting things started here, and Jaden Padilla serves first for Capital. That goes out of bounds, so the Hilltoppers come back, and the Hilltopper serve comes across, picked up by Alyssa Sandoval, and she bumps it all the way to the back line, comes up to Michelle Macias. She has to play it from the 10-foot line. Madeleine Portillo tries to go with the spike and hits and goes right into the net. So the Hilltoppers up 2-0. The first set by Jaden Padilla, that went wide. And so now Ashley Hammond, a good server for Los Alamos. And they're going to set up Caitlin Padilla, blocked at the net, this time by Callie Goda and Hannah Bergerman, but they cannot stop Madeleine Portillo, as he was a beautiful set right in the middle of the net, and she just powers it down, makes it 1-2 Capital. And so now Capital will send back to serve, and that will be Brooke Salazar. So Brooke Salazar will serve at 2-1. Picked up by Anna Kirkland in the back. Comes to Michelle Macias. Long. Boy, nice one. I thought that was going to go long, and so did Capital. Everybody just pulled away, and that ball just suddenly took a dive and came down about a foot inside over in the on the right corner. That makes it 3-1. And now Callie Goda will serve for Los Alamos. And into the backcourt. And once a great block at the net for the Hilltoppers this time by Solène Telliez. Boy, that was a beauty. And now Michelle Macias gets the set. And I think we're going to have she doesn't get it across, but let's see. I think they're calling Capital for a double hit, trying to get that thing back. 4-1. Callie Goda into the net. Makes it 4-2. And serve now will go over to Capital, and coming and dropping back to serve will be their libero, and that is Alyssa Sandoval. So the 5'3" senior serves away, comes to Alyssa And so very, very nicely that time. Anna Kirkland, perfect set for Sophia Centrone. And all Sophia had to do was find the open court. So the serve, Hilltoppers barely get it. I thought that was going to be an ace off the serve by Alyssa Sandoval. Comes to the back, all the way to the back court. Michelle Macias has to play it from the 10-foot line. Now they're going to set up Caitlin Padilla. Hard shot by Caitlin. And Hilltoppers bring it right back to the middle of the top of the net. An easy play for Sophia Centrone. But they're going to call Sophia for being in the net. It was a perfect set for her, but she just couldn't hold back enough. And that makes it now 5-3. The Hilltoppers up by 2. Hannah Bergerman. Nice serve by Hannah. And by Capital having a lot of trouble getting it back. Comes to Michelle Macias. And Michelle, she cannot get it by Sophia Centrone, the 5'8" junior. So Sophia with a nice block. That makes it 4-5. And now back serving will be, and let's see, I believe it's Caitlin Padilla. Numbers are, I wonder if you know, it's Anne-Marie Romero, I'm sorry. And Michelle Macias all the way to the back. And now they're going to set up this time Anne-Marie Romero, and Romero pops it across. So let's see, that server finally is Caitlin Padilla. So going to finally figure that one out. So Caitlin at 5'5" brings the Hilltoppers having to play it from the backcourt. Hilltoppers are way out of sync on that one. So this one by Madeleine Portillo. That one is going to go all the way over and bounce right on the line. And the line girl says that's on the line, and nobody overrules her. 6-5, Capital takes a 1-point lead over the Hilltoppers at this point. Comes up to the front. Michelle Macias, all she can do is just bump it across with an underhand bump. Ball's up in the rafters. And Hilltoppers both trying to play it and chasing it around with Deanna Foster and Anna Kirkland, but he got up in the rafters, and then it kind of looked like it was going to come down and hit another part of the rafters and twist it around. They were trying to play it. That is legal. They can play it off of the rafters like that, but right now Capital gets the point, and they go up by 2. So Joe Palmer wants a timeout, so he'll take his first timeout, down 7-5. The last time they took the timeout, they were down 5-0, and he really settled the girls down. And they went on to win the first set 25-23. But looks like we're in for another battle here in set number 2. And so Caitlin Padilla still serving back there for the Jaguars. Up by 2, 7-5. Anna Kirkland picked it up. So Lynn Tellez, and she clobbers one, but nice block by Sophia Centrone, goes out of bounds. Hilltoppers pick up the point, 6-7. Michelle Macias checks out. Coming into the ballgame for the Hilltoppers, Gianna Benelli. She will serve front line for Los Alamos, Angelina Pasalacqua, Solyen Tellez, and Ashley Hammond. Good front line for the Hilltoppers. Boy, nice serve by Gianna. It's an ace. It just goes flying off of one of the Jaguars up against the wall. So the Hilltoppers tie it up 7-7. So the 5'6" junior serves up I believe that's the first ace of the contest that I can recall. There's a little dink by Capital. Hilltoppers play it out. Alyssa Sandoval bumps it across from the backcourt, and now the shot taken this time by Layla Centrone, and that one goes long. So the Hilltoppers take back the lead 8-7, and they'll hand it over to Gianna once again and let her make the serve. Same front line as we had before, of course. Gianna comes all the way to the back, and another ace. That's 2 aces for Gianna. no return by Capital, and it's a 9-7 ball game. So the Deanna, the 5'6" junior, comes in, serves a couple of aces. So we have some substitutions now for Max Vargas, and Gianna, whoa, and it hit the tape, and it did fall over. Capital was able to recover and pick it up, but the shot by Ashley Hammond is blocked out of bounds, and now we're going to have a long discussion, it looks like, between the officials. But at any rate, that serve by Gianna hit the tape, kind of hung there, and then dropped over onto the Capital side. I didn't think they were going to get it, but they did. And then they finally get it up to the front, and the ball is blocked out of bounds. But I'm not sure what we're having a long discussion between the two officials at this point, and there's no ruling on who gets the point. And right now, the scoreboard says 9-7 in favor of the Hilltoppers, up by 2. We're in set 2. The Hilltoppers won the first set. Now they've decided they're going to call a jump ball, so they throw it both thumbs up. So that jump ball, so that means a replay. No, so that last point is history to Gianna Benelli, and this one, well, I didn't think they were going to get that one back, but somehow they did. Comes to Ashley Hammond. Hammond takes a lot off of it, and the just lays it over toward the sideline on the right side. Diving for it, I mean, major diving, was Alyssa Sandoval. Actually made the dive and then rolled over a couple of times, but she could not get to it. And now Max Vargas wants a timeout. So both coaches now taking early timeouts here after the timeout by Joe Palmer. They were down 5-7. So after his timeout, they reeled off 5 unanswered points. And to take the lead, they were down 5-7. They're now up 10-7. And now Max Vargas decided he better call a timeout as he's down 7-10. And his girls have given up 5 unanswered points as Gia Benelli has been having a field day back there behind the service line. So the Gia now will serve for Los Alamos, up by 3. She's done a great job. She almost had another ace. Alyssa Sandoval was able to pick it up, and Angelina Pasalacqua sets up Soliane Teliez, and Solène can't get it over the net. So after the timeout by Max Vargas, they do get the point. And now checking in to serve will be Camila Villa. So Camila Villa will serve at 8-10. Nice serve. Anna Kirkland picks it up. And Solène Teliez sees a wide open court. Wow. Right at the 10-foot line, a little off from in the right sideline. There wasn't anybody there. Nobody. So she just had to simply push it over there. Makes it 11-8, and now Angelina Pasalacqua will drop back for Los Alamos, and she will serve. This is Sandoval barely able to dig it out, and they block at the net by Los Alamos, and we're going to call 4 hits on Pine. The shot, they tried to get it across, and on the spike, it hit the top of the net, the tape, but didn't come over. So the Hilltoppers didn't, well, it wasn't a block by Los Alamos because it never cleared the tape. So it's 4 hits, and now we're having another long discussion at the table. But at that point, should go to Los Alamos. I believe 12-8 is the proper score. So let's see. Well, Joe Palmer out talking to his girls, and so now I think they're going to rule. They're going to rule an illegal formation called against Los Alamos. So they give the point now to Capital. So their score remains at 8-12. So Los Alamos, lining up out there, they there's certain ways you can line up. You can't, like, one player can't block another player from view of the other team, things like that. So there's I don't even know how they figure all that out, but the illegal formation thing is something. And so Sherry, she decides that there was an illegal formation, so the point goes to Capital, and now serving will be Brooke Salazar for the Jaguars if we ever get all this figured out. As we're back to the table for more discussion, I remind everybody that on Friday night or Saturday afternoon, I keep saying Friday night, Saturday afternoon we'll be in Albuquerque to bring you the Hilltopper football team versus Academy. 2:00 in the afternoon. Capital, you go to Academy, you play at Academy, you got to play in the daytime somewhere. We played there on Thursday and practically every day of the week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's 11-9 right now as they adjusted the score. So what they did, it was 12-8. So they took that point away from Los Alamos to make it 11, gave the point to Capital to make it 11-9. It was 12-8. It's now 11-9 as they reverse the scoring. And now Sherry walking over to talk to the chair umpire. And I'm not sure, it's getting whatever it is has to be very complicated, apparently. So it was 12-8. Los Alamos had scored the point, but then I don't understand where the illegal formation came from, because that would have been completely after the point. And so after a long discussion, they just take one of the points from Los Alamos and take it away from Los Alamos, and then give it to Capital. Now Angelina Pacalacqua and Madeleine Portillo, Caitlin Padilla, the two captains, are over there talking to the two officials. And so let's see, is everybody happy now? See, that captain was Amarie Romero for Capital. And I think we might be ready to go, maybe. Nope, we're not. More discussions. 9-11. Capital serve. Brooke Salazar. Finally. Up to Deanna Benelli. Benelli up to Ashley Hammond. And no return on Ashley as she got it all the way to the back line to Sophia Centron. And Centron tried to bump it up to the front. It was not a good bump up. And the young lady in the front line diving for it could not get to it. So now Angelina Pacalacqua will serve and played in the backcourt. Madeleine Portillo, beautiful shot by Madeleine, and the Hilltoppers just bring it right back. And they set up Sophia Centron, and they gave her a perfect set. Los Alamos, she was able to bring it across. Los Alamos was able to play it, but as they try to get it over to Hannah Bergerman, and her shot is blocked at the net by Madeleine Portillo. Portillo, a 5'9" junior, she looks taller than 5'9". But anyway, comes to Gianna Benelli in the back line, and Gianna cannot return it. So now it's going to be 11-12. And serving will be a Sophia Centron. Comes to Callie Goda over to Ashley Hammond. Ashley brings it all the way from the right side all the way to the left. Capital able to return it over to Callie Goda. Goda was a little dink. Capital trying to make the dink. Madeleine Portillo missed the dink. She was trying to make a little block dink, and she missed it. And then that set to Caitlin Padilla, who was going to get it, and that distracted Caitlin, and she was not able to do anything with it. So the Hilltoppers now go up 13-11. Ashley Hammond brings it across for the Hilltoppers, and then trying to set up once again, and it looked like Caitlin Padilla, and Caitlin was trying to go from the right side to the left side. and from the left side to the right side, never got it over the net. She accomplished that, but it never got over onto the upper side of the net. Padilla, hard shot. Boy, great dig out that time by Anna Kirkland. Shot across by the Hilltoppers, Michelle Macias. And brought over, come back. Now the Hilltoppers are going to set up Hannah Bergeman. Hard shot by Hannah, played nicely by Capital as they bring it. The Hilltoppers now will set up Michelle Macias. Macias' law shot is long. So that's going to make it 12-14. Ashley Hammond will check out of the ball game. Coming in for her now will be Cheyenne Garcia. And see if I can see. I believe that's Brooke Salazar serving, I do believe, and she's served up essentially an ace. Let me correct that. No, that is Jaden Padilla. Jaden Padilla essentially serves up an ace. No, wait a minute. It is Brooke Salazar. I'm really sorry. Those numbers are murder, and I can only usually see the front, and they're very small, and they're just kind of a pale blue on black. So that's going to make it Hilltoppers pick up the point anyway. Callie Cota will now serve for Los Alamos up by 2, 15-13 in set 2. Hilltoppers took the first set 25-23, and Capital, I didn't think they were ever going to get that one across. So they bring it up, and Madeleine Portillo, the tall girl, she faced Hannah Bergeman, and Bergeman tried to power it through her, but nothing doing. Great block that time by Madeleine. Serving now is Alyssa Sandoval, the libero for Capital. Hilltoppers try to, it comes down the left sideline, and Hannah Bergeman tries to bump it back across, and this one goes wide, so we're now 15-15. Alyssa Sandoval, her shot, picked up on the backcourt. Michelle Macias, all she can do is a backward bump over her head, and the Capital just simply picks it up easily. And so they set up Hannah Bergeman, and Bergeman puts it into the net. So the Hilltoppers now having some problems as Alyssa Sandoval doing a good job behind the service line for Capital. And the Capital now leads 16-15 here in set 2. Comes up to Michelle Macias. Wow, great dig out by Alyssa Sandoval. Boy, what a shot by Michelle Macias it was that time. It comes back to Michelle. Michelle's shot is blocked at the net. Blocked at the net again. So they just cannot get it by Layla Cintrone. And she was just a force up there on that right side of the net. And now the ball does go long out of bounds off of Capital. Hannah Bergeman with the serve, and they bump it all the way up to the top of the net, right to Solène Teliez. And all Solène has to do is just push it straight down for the point. Make it 17-16. Hannah across for Los Alamos. Alyssa Sandoval picks it up. They bring it up to the front. Knocking it across this time. Caitlin Padilla comes to Michelle Macias. Macias shot all the way to the back line. Alyssa Sandoval plays it nicely. Hilltop, and Capital brings it across. Solène Teliez with a little push shot. Capital trying to push it to the back line. Los Alamos right there for it. Michelle Macias, hard shot is picked up beautifully by Capital. And they're going to set up Michelle once again. Her shot is blocked. And this one is going to go out of bounds. Good rally that time by both of these teams as the Hilltoppers go up by 2, 18-16, leading 1-0 so far in this contest. But right now in set number 2, they're up by 2, 18-16. Hannah Bergeman brings it across the net for Los Alamos to Alyssa Sandoval, and over now to Camila Tavia. Michelle Macias gets the set. Her shot is picked up by Alyssa Sandoval, and then just simply bumped across by Capital. Michelle Macias once again. This is partially blocked at the net by by Layla Cintrone. But that block was it was a good thing she did, because the block came off of her and just kind of bounced off of her fingertips and then dropped behind her in the open court. 19-16. Up to the front of the net, and great to serve that time as Layla Cintrone tried to get it across, but right there was Solian Tellez for Los Alamos for the block, and they bring it to Capital, bring it to the back line. Now up to the front to Michelle Macias. Great block at the net by Layla Cintrone and Gianna, and Cheyenne Garcia brings it across for Los Alamos. Capital having a lot of trouble getting it across. I didn't think they were going to. Tellez, and this one's going to be wide. So again, coming in for Los Alamos now will be Deanna Foster, and she's going to replace Hannah Bergerman. Deanna will go into the backcourt, the front line for Los Alamos, Michelle Macias, Angelina Pasalacqua, and Solian Tellez. And so Capital will serve at 17-19. And up it comes now to Michelle Macias. Perfect set over there for Layla Cintrone. And Cintrone tries to clobber it through. The Hilltoppers recover, bump it right up to Michelle Macias. And Macias finds the open court on the right side. And Hilltoppers go up by 3:20-17. And now checking back in is Gianna Benelli, who had such a great serving situation earlier. She will serve, hits the top of the net, but does come across. Long shot comes by Capital, comes all the way to the back. Hilltoppers have to play it from the back court as it comes to Benelli, and Benelli mishits it and doesn't go anywhere. Now checking in for Capital will be Brooke Salazar, and sophomore, and she will serve. Front line for Los Alamos right now, Solian Tellez, Angelina Pasalacqua, and Ashley Hammond, and Salazar into the net. So that makes it 21-18. So a gift that time for Los Alamos. And so Anna Kirkland, the Hilltopper libero, will serve up by 3, 21-18. That one started to go long, but they decide to play it. Madeleine Portillo, nice shot by Madeleine Portillo, the big girl, and she finds the wide open court right in front of the back line. Makes it 19-21. And now serving will be Sophia Cintrone. Dug out in the back. They bring it up now to Ashley Hammond. Hammond takes a lot off of it. There's a little battle at the net, like kind of a battling it back and forth. It just as the Hilltoppers knock it across, Capital knocked it back. Hilltoppers knock it across again, and Hilltoppers take the point. Angelina Pasalacqua will drop back. She'll serve at 22-19, up by 3. Alyssa Sandoval plays it, but it just goes straight up in the air. They do manage to get it up to the front. Alyssa Sandoval should have been called for a double hit, and I think they're going to call Los Alamos for 4 hits or whatever. But Alyssa Sandoval, she hit it and then knocked it off her shoulder, and so the point goes to Capital. Nice serve by Capital this time. And the Hilltoppers trying to get it over in the open corner, but a great play by Alyssa Sandoval. And now the shot taken from the left side by Caitlin Padilla, and she finds the sideline on the right side. Perfect shot right on the line. Makes it now 21-22. Hilltoppers dig it out, and there's an ace. So served by Anne-Marie Romero. And she dials up the ace to make it 22-22. And now Joe Palmer wants a timeout. So we came right down to the wire in the last set. Hilltoppers won at 25-23. And here we are in set number 2. Same situation, 22-22. As both teams battling, the Hilltoppers hoping to go up by 2 sets. Capital hoping to tie this thing up. And just like St. Pius, we had a battle royal here against St. Pius. Extremely good volleyball game. St. Pius winning that one in 5 sets. And this one has a danger of going 5 sets. So we'll see if Joe Palmer now, let's see if he can calm his girls down as Amaru Romero will serve. Nice serve, but boy, Hilltoppers, whoa. It came to Ashley Hammond. She had backed up to the 10-foot line. All she did was she tried to bump it up to the front, bumped it across, and then it's just a total campfire by Capital. They all just stand around there looking at it and let it drop to the floor. 23-22, so the campfire gives Los Alamos the point. Serve across, and now Caitlin Padilla, hard shot by Caitlin. Hilltoppers are going to set up Michelle Macia. She takes all kinds of stuff off of it. And Madeleine Portillo, she gets the set, nice set, and she fires it long. So here we are, the exact same situation we had before as Max Vargas wants to time out. So we're sitting exactly where we were before. It was 24-22. The Hilltoppers had 2 set points, lost the set point, went to 24-23, and then the Hilltoppers able to win it 25-23. So we have the exact same scenario right now. At 24-22, the Hilltoppers will be serving for the set, 24-23, and they have 2 set points. And Ashley Hammond will be the young lady behind the net behind the service line for Los Alamos. And we are ready, and Ashley picked up by Alyssa Sandoval. She brings it up to the front. Madeleine Portillo, and her shot goes, well, it doesn't matter. It hit the line, but it was blocked by Los Alamos anyway. So it was either in or out. It was a capital point. And so here we are back to 24-23. Exact same situation in set 1. So deja vu all over again. Comes to Anna Kirkland. Kirkland is going to set up Caligola. Boy, and the lines girl says it's out. That was in. There's no question that was in. So the lines girl said it was out, but boy, that was in by a foot. And I think they're going to overrule that. They should. I think Sherry has overruled that. And boy, I mean, the lines girl, I don't know how she missed that one. She's been doing a really good job. But that was way in. So I don't know, for some reason she called it out. But the Hilltoppers take set number 2, 25-23. And off a hard spike that time by the Hilltoppers. And so right to the line, but it was inside, easily inside. 2 sets now for Los Alamos as they win the first one 25-23. Win the second one 25-23 in exact same fashion as they won the first set. And so now we're going to go back to Charlene. We're going to hear from our great sponsors.
Well, it's great to see Topper sports season kicking off again. I'm Troy Hughes. I'm the fire chief here in Los Alamos. And we're glad to see COVID kind of waning and people getting back to their normal activities. One of the things that hurt us during this time period was our lack of people. So we need recruits. We need cadets to come to work for Los Alamos Fire Department. It's a great career, very rewarding, good pay, good benefits, great retirement. You get to work out and maintain your Topper strength. So we're hoping that a few good people will come to work for us in the next year, and we hope that the Toppers win. So go Toppers.
Hello, I'm Deputy Chief Oliver Morris of the Los Alamos Police Department, and I just want to take a few moments of your time to talk about some safety initiatives that we want to bring forth to the community as the 2022-2023 school year starts in Los Alamos. School is right around the corner, and we want to remind parents and students to make sure that you leave enough time to get to school on time so we're not rushing. As you can see behind me, all school zones are 15 miles an hour when students are going to school, even if they're not present. So let's slow down and just make sure our students are safe. Secondly, I want to remind us that when the buses are stopped and their stop signs and lights are activated, we want traffic to stop in both directions to allow time for students to cross the street to keep them safe. The other thing I want to talk about is our school campuses. It's important to remember that during school, campuses are closed to the general public as well as the playgrounds and facilities while school is in session. This also includes Sullivan Field and the Sullivan Field parking lot. We want to make sure that school is meant for just school hours and school staff. Please check in with the staff regularly if you're going to be planning on visiting our campuses. We have a long history at Los Alamos to have amazing school resource officers. These officers are there to provide an atmosphere of safety and security for our students and faculty, but they're also there to foster positive relationships with students. So we use our school resource officers just to ensure that everything is safe in our schools. The other thing I'd like to direct our community to is on the losalamosschools.net website. If you click on the Safety and Wellness section, you will see that there's the See Something, Say Something app. This app is a great tool to report anything that has to do with safety, whether it's bullying or whether it's a suspicious person on campus or anything you think is safety related for our schools. Please use this app to report any suspicious behavior so that we can work in concert with the Los Alamos Public Schools to make sure everyone is safe. And that's the final message that I have for you today. And I just want to make sure that we have a safe and fun school year, and go Toppers.
Okay, just underway here as the Hilltoppers Angelina Pasalacqua served for Los Alamos, and a great rally finally won by Capital as they take a 1-0 lead. So the Hilltoppers now set up Callie Goda. Goda's hard shot. Boy, great dig out by Brooke Salazar for Capital. They bring it up. They have to play it from the back line, all the way from the back line. Camilla Villa plays it, and it comes now to Ashley Hammond. Whoa, what a defensive play by the libero. And so this time, Caitlin Padilla, and she tries to get it past Hannah Bergerman, nothing doing. So they get it to Gianna Padilla. She's at the 10-foot line, and she's looking for the open corner, and she puts it out long. So Hilltoppers drop as usual, not as usual, but as we started things off before, the Hilltoppers were down 2-0. They were down 7-5, and after the timeout by Joe Palmer, the Hilltoppers, they ran off 5 straight points. So a block at the net by the Hilltoppers, and they block kill, and so now the Hilltoppers, it's a 1-2 ball game. Ashley Hammond serving, and up to the front. A great block there for Los Alamos. Angela Valencia trying to bring it across. And great block by Los Alamos at the net, and that makes it 2-2. And Ashley Hammond will continue to serve for Los Alamos. Took some, and there's that soft serve. I mean, a Dairy Queen, man. Soft serve comes right smack down into that open court, and that's the way they set up these formations. That court is open, and if you don't cover it, I mean, it drops in. So the Hilltoppers with the serve, and they bring it up now to Michelle Macias, and attempted block at the net by Madeleine Portillo. She can't block it. Hilltoppers go up 4-2, as Ashley Hammond coming in at the 1-2, and now it's Ashley. Whoa. Hits the tape. And I mean, it was just a little floater. I guess she was going for that soft shot again, and hits the tape and bounces right back. So it's now 3-4, and Alyssa Sandoval will serve for Capital. And she's going to serve an ace. So she ties things up with a nice ace from the libero, and the Hawaii student section seems to be gone over there. They were all over there in Hawaiian shirts. This is a Hawaii day for some reason. So the serve by Capital, picked up by Los Alamos, and Callie Goda Wow. Callie Gola is, boy, they give Callie Gola the ball, and man, boy, does she, I mean, she just massacred that thing down the right sideline. Now Callie will go back and she'll serve at 5-4. Hilltoppers leading 2-0 here, and the best of 3 sets. Hilltoppers winning the first 2, and this one is going to be just long. So that'll make it 5-5. Caitlin Padilla will serve with the score tied here in set 3. Hilltoppers leading 2-0 over the Lady Jaguars. Nice serve, picked up nicely by the Hilltoppers, and then they set up Michelle Macias. And a hard shot by Michelle, and she's able to just power it right through Angela Valencia and pick up the point. So now Hannah Bergerman will drop back for Los Alamos, and she'll serve. Boy, she just zinged that thing across the net. And Alyssa Sandoval, the libero, has to play it right in front of the net. All she can do is just a two-hand underhand bump. So Capital now in perfect position to make something happen. Great save that time by Hannah Bergerman. And so they bring it over now to Deanna Foster, to Cheyenne Garcia. And Garcia is able to bring it across for the Hilltoppers. And now there's a little dink by Capital, played nicely by the Hilltoppers, blocked by Solian Tellez and Angelina Pasalacqua. Hard shot by Angelina, comes across. Angelina's going to set up. Well, they're going to set up Michelle Macias finally. Michelle takes an awful lot off of it, diving to the floor. To get it, and a lot of girls diving to the floor. Solian Tellez has her shot blocked at the net. And great dig out by the Hilltoppers, and they power it across. And Caitlin Padilla diving to the floor, trying to fist it back up. She can't, makes it 7-5. And so Hannah Bergerman will serve for Los Alamos up by 2 here in set 3. Come to the back court, and then just Anne-Marie Romero, what they think she could do with it. The ball just kind of came at her, and so all she could do is just kind of swing a fist at it back into the net. Bergerman serving. And that's an ace. So Hannah Bergerman serves up the ace as she just powered it right through Lavanna Hopkins, and that makes it now 9-5. And now Max Vargas wants that timeout. So in every set, we've had this situation where one of the teams is down. Like at the last set, Hilltoppers were down 5-7 when Joe Palmer called a timeout, and then they ran off 5 straight points. The Hilltoppers now been on a run here, so now Max Vargas, he now wants to bring a timeout and see if he can rally his girls. And they've been both coaches have been successful coming out of the timeouts. So the Hilltoppers will still have Hannah Bergerman back behind the line, the front line for the Hilltoppers. Solian Tellez, Michelle Macias, and Angelina Pasalacqua. So, well, that serve was going to go way long, but played by Capital. They bring it to the back court. Hilltoppers going to set up Solian Tellez. Her shot blocked at the net. Beautiful block that time. At the net by Sofia Centron. So that will go over to Capital. So after every timeout, the team that calls the timeout gets the point. And so they are now going to send in Brooke Salazar to make the serve. 6-9, Brooke serving. From all the way up to the front. Boy, that was dangerous. Hilltoppers somehow able to get it across without having it smashed right back in their face. And then Michelle Macias, and I mean, she just whacks it right into Caitlin Padilla, and Caitlin trying to make a play, can't. And the ball goes off of her and high up in the air against the wall next to the scoreboard. So Gianna Benelli, coming in for Los Alamos. Gianna's done a good job of serving so far in this match. See if she can keep it up. Caitlin Padilla at the front, and then Madeleine Portillo gets this. Let's see, that was Anne-Marie Romero. She gets the set, and she gets the spike, and she gets the kill, and she gets the point. 7-10. And now dropping back to serve will be Sophia Cintron. Hilltoppers pick it up. They're going to get it up to Ashley Hammond. Hammond shot is right in front of the line. And they're going to overrule that one. I thought the official was indicating that was a point for Capital. Anyway, it's 11-7. Here comes our libero, Anna Kirkland. So Anna, nice serve, and Anna serves up the ace, and she just drops it into the open court. And Alyssa Sandoval coming over from one side, and Brooke Salazar on the other. Neither one of them can get to it. And so it makes it now 12-7. Hilltoppers up by 5 here in set 3. Kirkland with a nice serve. They're going to bump it up this time, and this shot's going to go long. And taking that shot was Madeleine Portillo, and makes it now 13-7. Hilltoppers up by 6 here in set 3. And still serving is Anna Kirkland for Los Alamos. Comes to Alyssa Sandoval, a quick dink across by Capital. Hilltoppers waiting for it. Ashley Hammond pushes it toward the back line. Nothing on it. Picked up easily by Alyssa Sandoval. They dink it across. Hilltoppers almost lose it. Finally bumping it across is Callie Goda for the Hilltoppers. And then Capital bumps it across. They're going to set up now Ashley Hammond. And Hammond just, boy, great set that time. Fantastic set that time by Angelina Pasalacqua. And boy, I'm telling you, Ashley just powered it down into the open court. 14-7. Hilltoppers up by 7 here in set 3. Anna Kirkland still serving for Los Alamos, doing a great job of serving. And so this shot this time by Anne-Marie Romero, that was going to go way long, but anyway, the Hilltoppers libero, whose job is to get those crazy ones anyway, goes off of her hands, out, goes between her fingers out of bounds. 8-14, and it's going to come up now to Ashley Hammond. Hammond's shot is blocked at the net, and they blocked it out of bounds. They actually blocked it into the antenna, so it makes it now 15-8, and Angelina Pasalacqua, the outstanding setter for Los Alamos, will go back to serve. Coming in to join the front line is Hannah Bergerman. So Hannah Bergerman, Callie Goda, and Ashley Hammond. Boy, there's a powerful front line for you. And so a quick dink across by Capital, and Callie Goda pushes it toward the back line. Alyssa Sandoval picks it up. Madeleine Portillo pushes it across, and we're going to have a net foul, as they're going to call Callie Goda for being in the net. That makes it now 9-15. Brooke Salazar will serve. Coming in for Angela Valencia will come in for Capital. And so the serve by Brooke Salazar. Callie Goda has her shot blocked at the net. Now they're going to set up Hannah Bergerman. She takes a lot off of it toward the back line. Madeleine Portillo, boy, nice shot by Madeleine. And trying to get to it that time was Gianna Bonelli, could not. And she just got her fists out there. And then it just simply, the young man coming in with popcorn and Coke and everything. And the ball rolls right to him. He's trying to soccer it over to him, having a lot of trouble. So, and we're going to have an ace served by Capital. So, and serving right now, let's see, is I thought it was Brooke Salazar, but we'll check that. 11-15 is the score right now. Capital down by 4 as the Hilltoppers had a pretty substantial lead, but Capital now trying to come back in set number 3. The Hilltoppers leading 2-0, winning both sets in the exact same fashion, 25-23. And let's see, I think it's who's going to go back there and serve for Capital. I do believe it's going to be Brooke Salazar. No, it's not Brooke Salazar. It's Chanel Yeager. So Chanel Yeager will serve at 11:15. Picked up in the back by Gianna Benelli. Here comes, and this time they get it over to Hannah Bergerman. She takes a lot off of it. Comes down in front of the front line. Diving for it is the libero, Alyssa Sandoval, but she can't get it up in the air. And so no return by Capital. Makes it 16-11 as Ashley Hammond will serve for Los Alamos. Alyssa Sandoval, the libero, picks it up. And then they try to set up. This time they try to set up Caitlin Padilla, and she slams it into the net to make it 17-11. Hammond, pretty serve. Barely clears the net. And so Capital, all they can do is just push it back across. And so now they bring it up now to Hannah Bergerman. She just slams it right smack into the net. I mean, right smack. 12-17. So Alyssa Sandoval in the white jersey will serve. Comes up to the front of the Hilltoppers, and the shot, I think, is going to be touched. Yes, it is. It goes out of bounds off of the hit by Callie Goda. Let me correct that. Yeah, off the hit, I'm sorry, by Hannah Bergerman. And that makes it now 18-12. Hilltoppers up by 6 here in set 3. Whoa, that isn't even fair. The little soft serve took all kinds of stuff off of it, came down, landed right on the top of the tape, and then just dropped straight down into Capital territory. That used to be a net ball, and you'd have to reserve, but why they did away with that, I have no idea. Capital returns the serve, and Hilltoppers now are trying to get it up to the front, and they bring it too far up to the front. Nobody can get to it for Los Alamos. 13-19, and now it looks like Caitlin Padilla is going to serve at this point. Comes to Michelle Macias, and she tries to find the back line, and that goes too long, makes it 14-19. And the ball will go back to Caitlin, the 5'6" senior, and she will serve down by 5. Nice serve, picked up by all the way in the back court this time by Anna Kirkland. Michelle Macias brings it to all the way to the back line. Hard shot. Wow. Whoa. That's Layla Cintron. That's one of the best spikes we've seen tonight. And boy, she powered that thing through. So Caitlin Padilla will serve again, down by 4, 15-19. So the Hilltoppers want to close this thing out. Here comes now Hannah Bergerman. Bergerman into the net again. And that's the second time she's gotten that set, and the second time she's pulled it that has not cleared the net. 16-19. This one started to go long, and Hilltoppers decide to play it. Comes up to Michelle Macias. Macias into the net. So the Hilltoppers slam it into the net. I mean, 1, 2, 3 times in a row, makes it now 17-19. Now Joe Palmer wants a timeout, and he splits the girls. So Joe Palmer has half the girls talking to them, and Natalie Pasalacqua is talking to the other half of the girls. So it looks like Joe is talking mainly to his smaller girls, the ones that would play in the backcourt, and Natalie Pasalacqua is talking to the bigger girls, the front court girls, the spikers. So they trying to get everybody on sync here, as it's 19-17 or 17-19, as a big comeback now by Capital, led by Caitlin Padilla behind the service line. They bump it up to the front. Here comes Michelle Macias. And just like before, you call a timeout, you get the point. Boy, Michelle Macias, she just powered one down. I mean, that thing had flames coming out of it. That That hit just in front of the back line. There was no play on that one. 20-17, and now Hannah Bergerman will serve up by 3, 20-17. Dug out in the back line, and a nice shot that time as they get it up to Sophia Centrone. And so Sophia Centrone picks up the point. That makes it 18-20. Brooke Salazar will now check in for Capital. She'll serve. Brooke, a sophomore, not a very big girl. I don't have a height on her. And but a nice serve picked up in the back line by Cheyenne Garcia. And they get it up to Michelle Macias. Hard shot by Michelle. Going to the floor. Caitlin Padilla trying to get to it. Bumps it up to the front. They can't do anything with it. Hilltoppers now with the substitution as they're going to bring in Gianna Bonelli, who's done a good job of serving the front line for the Hilltoppers. Right now is Soleil Tellez, Ashley Hammond, and Hannah Bergerman. And like I say, it doesn't get much better than that. So they now comes over now to Tellez into the net. So the Hilltoppers spikers having a lot of trouble getting it over the net, because every time they get set up, they just come swinging down, and they swing down, and it goes right in. It's 19-21. Hilltoppers now are going to set up Ashley Hammond, and Hammond's shot is blocked at the net. Angelina Pasalacqua says that it should have been 2 hits, but she was right, but they didn't call it, so they set up Angelina, and she normally is a setter. Instead of setting it, she just pushes it with the right hand over into the open court to make it 22-19. That will push now behind the line to serve Anna Kirkland up by 3 here in set 3. Hilltoppers trying to close this out in 3 sets. Played, and Madeleine Portillo has her shot blocked, and it comes right back to her. She tries to bump it up, and it comes right back to her again. So she's called for a double hit. And that makes it 23-19. Now Max Vargas wants a timeout. So we're 2 sets away from the match, or 2 points away from the match. Hilltoppers lead 2-0, and winning the first and the second set in identical fashion, 25-23. I mean, both of them in the scenario in both cases was exactly the same. So it's 23-19, and we started off with a pretty good crowd, but I don't know that for some reason the crowd start thinning out. But we had this student section is always completely full, and then about this time now, for some reason, all those kids start taking off. Got to run home, do homework. I'm sure that's the reason. So here we go. Anna Kirkland. She will serve at 23-19. Comes to Alyssa Sandoval. They have to play it from the backcourt, so this gives Los Alamos a golden opportunity for Ashley Hammond, and Ashley Hammond slams it down. So a perfect set that time by Angelina Pasalacqua, and that makes it now 24-19. Hilltoppers with 5 set points right now, 5 match points actually, 5 set points and 5 match points. Anna Kirkland ready to serve, up by 5. Comes to the back line. Capital, a lot of trouble. All they can do is bounce it across. Pasalacqua sets up Callie Goda. Goda's shot is blocked at the net. Madeleine Portillo just pops it right back across. Ashley Hammond, all she can do is bump it backwards over her head. Madeleine Portillo, she goes up, and they tried to fake it, but they tried to make it do like it. Caitlin Padilla was going to take it, and Madeleine, it looked like Madeleine Portillo was going to take it, and they were going to let Caitlin Padilla take it, but those two girls got mixed up, and they end up just slamming it into the net. So the Hilltoppers take the final set, 25-19. It's a hard-fought battle here between 2 good soccer programs, the Capital and the Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers take the first set 25-23, the second set 25-23, and a third set 25-19. So it was a good battle all the way, and both teams were in it all the way, especially in sets 1 and 2. Either team could have walked away with either one of those sets as it came right down to the wire, but the Hilltoppers with a little bigger cushion here in this final set, and they win it 25-19. So the Hilltoppers now go to 6-4, and Capital goes to 5-5 on the season. And so like I say, our next outing for Los Alamos will be at Academy, as the Hilltoppers will take on Academy, and that will be on Saturday. And the next volleyball team for Los Alamos will be at Rio. Well, I think they're going to be in another tournament. It says to be announced at Rio Rancho. So anyway, and the boys soccer team is off to Roswell. So we'll be on Saturday. We will. So I think the girls are going to be, they apparently are going to be in a tournament down at Rio Rancho, the volleyball. Well, that'll do it. So anyway, final score here is 3-0. Hilltoppers sweep Capital on a good volleyball match. Good match all the way. And Capital, Hilltoppers come away against Capital in 3 sets. So this is Gene Mortensen, so for John McHale and Nate Limbeck and Charlene McHale. The crew we have, we want to thank Carol Clark for making all this possible, the Los Alamos Daily Post. We put it on their YouTube channel, and we do the audio, and John and Nate do the pictures that you see. And then, of course, we have some very nice sponsors, and we try to get them on as much as we possibly can in these breaks. And we ask that you please support these sponsors, because they are staunch supporters of Los Alamos High School athletics, and we appreciate that. So this is Gene Mortensen. So have a great tomorrow, and you can make an even better Wednesday. All you got to do is put a little love in your heart. Don't forget to hug that penguin. But the most important thing you can always do. Oh, and I want to make a quick shout out to Tammy and to Dean and Kent and Bobby, people I forgot to shout out to, and Larry. Who am I missing? Anyway, and Debbie. Anyway, all tuning in to Hilltopper Volleyball tonight. So thanks for tuning in, and so that'll do it for us. And so, Sweetie Pie, we're all done. So we're going to take off. And remember, honey, I love you, and I miss you, sweetie. Bye, everybody.